Good morning, boys and girls, ladies, gentlemen. We are going to do what's called a lawn treatment. Still spring season. We've had a couple of cool days, so we're going to be okay with this. Also, since we've already been maintaining this for the last 3 years, it's not going to disrupt it. It's not going to stress the grass. If you do lawn maintenance and you are requesting a contractor to come out to you and put grass seed, weed and feed, nitrite or ironite, millogranite in your turf during the hot season, summer season, you are going to stress your current grass, and you may have a few blades that pop up, but overall, you're going to stress out your turf. You're going to weaken the pH balance in your soil. So any soil improver, any weed and feed, nutrients, you name it, it's basically money down the drain. Trust the process. Don't rush something that's meant to be gradual, okay? Everything has its own season, its own time to do so, okay? Right now, we're still in spring. We're getting some warm temps. We've had a couple of rain days, and it's cooled off enough that we can actually apply treatment today. I am at my house, and there is a section in my yard. I don't know if you can see it back over here, up around the house, right up around there. That's full of broadleaf, okay? Clover, ornamental grasses. That's not your typical grasses, okay? And then on the other side of the house, there's very dense soil, but no green that is growing. And it could be an indicator for how much tree coverage we have, because, like, again, I am surrounded by woods, so it creates shade. That's why I use a mix of sun and shade, and I'm going to show you the bag real quick. If you can see it, you can find this at Lowe's. You can get it online. You can probably find it at any other big box store, some gardening stores. You're going to have different market value prices. But under here at the bottom, it will tell you what it's intended for. This is a sun and shade mix. So whether it gets full sun for 6 to 8 hours a day, or it gets maybe 3 hours of sunlight, it's going to grow. It's going to thin out the weeds. And as the weeds thin out, we have a combination treatment, which is this is Stay Green, which is a weed and feed. So it's going to feed the grass. Now you have fertilizer in the other one, which is a 3-in-1. This weed and feed is a little bit different of a component, but I like to combine them because it maximizes the effect, okay? While also thinning out your weeds in your turf, okay? There's other products by Stay Green, Deep Greening, new contractor turfs. Basically, contractors throwing down seed, and then they put that straw netting on top of it so that it can grow through and grows thicker and stuff like that. I am not talking about sod. Okay, sod is completely different than growing from seedling. Okay, sod is what you order from somewhere that's already been growing somewhere, that they scalped it off the soil, rolled it up, and put it on a pallet, and that pallet got ordered by a local contractor or even a landscaper, got delivered, and that landscaper is placing down rows of pre-grown turf grass, which is called sod. Okay, sod is a different way of installation and application to your current home. Okay, if we get a sod installation, I will definitely be recording a video on that, because there are people out here that you can tell whether they are a contractor or a landscaper, because a contractor will install sod the right way, or I'm sorry, a landscaper that knows what they are doing and has knowledge will apply the sod and install it the right manner of way. A contractor of construction will just grab the sod and place it on the soil and sit it and then put sprinklers on it. And you'll probably get greenness from it, but you're going to have splits. And what you'll find is that probably pieces of your sod is flowing away with a downgrade slope, and that sod gets pushed off. And then it looks like erosion, but it's not erosion. It's that the sod was not placed properly on the soil. Okay. Trust me, you want to make sure if you are having someone install sod in your location because you've been trying to throw grass seed at it and it's not working, you've tried to improve the soil condition, you've brought up the pH balance, it's just not working, right? Make sure you go with a landscaper, not a construction contractor that doesn't have an affinity for landscaping, okay? People that spend the most of their time in landscaping will know the difference. Also, if you having sod installed, you are not to cut it just because it's growing tall. You have to wait the duration of time to let it adhere to your soil and let the grass roots grow through that sod to that soil to remain strong before you can cut it, okay? You will know that it is if you go to your sod and after about 3 weeks, try to gently pull it up. If it gives really easily, it hasn't fully adhered to your soil, okay? If it's tough to pull up, that means it's fully adhered to your soil, and then you can go ahead and cut it. Do not cut it short. Again, I repeat myself, do not cut it short. You are cutting out the nutrients of your grass, okay? Don't do that. The only time you cut grass short is if you are going to do treatment to it. There will be people out here that will do scalping. They will cut the grass so low, and it's not for grass treatment. They just cut it low, right? Cutting out all the nutrients out of it and then introducing 3 components: disease, lack of nutrition, and stress. All 3 of those will destroy your turf, okay? It'll also introduce your turf to bugs, ants, you name it, okay? When you maintain your grass adequately, spring, fall. Only 2 times, okay? Spring and fall. I'm not going to talk about other companies that give you quarterly treatments on your grass, etc., etc. That's not my business. That's their business. But we only treat your yard 2 times per year. Springtime, summertime. Or, sorry, springtime and fall time. Summertime, we're only coming to cut your grass. That's it. Or trim some hedges, clean up the flower beds, etc., etc. We are not coming to put down sod. We are not coming to put down new grass seed, okay? If you want it at that time, I'm pretty sure you can find a company that will go ahead and do that, and you can throw your money at it. Whatever price they give you, that's their business, not mine. You ask me, I'm going to tell you right now, we won't come out and do it. You keep your money, we keep our labor and our energy and our time, because it's going to be a waste of our time and labor, and it's going to be an expensive cost for you for not doing it at the right time, okay? That's my TED Talk, and that's my being transparent. Let's use that word, okay? I am going to show you a couple of different ways to apply this seed, this mixture. And there are a couple other components I have put into this mixture. Right now, if you look at this bucket, this is a 18-gallon bucket, okay? This is a mix of grass seed, sunshade, soil improver, fertilizer, weed and feed, and I have 2 other components in here that I cannot disclose to you. Not just because they are proprietary in the blend that I make and mix to apply to your soil and your turf, but because you can only order it if you are commercially licensed to be able to utilize it, okay? Licensed and certified. If a company is licensed and certified, the person who has gone through certification and licensing is the only one that is able to apply it to your residential property. Anyone else coming over there picking up the stuff that you can find at a big box store, you don't need a certification of it. Even though I have plenty of certifications in lawn care and landscaping, you do not. It would be the same thing as if the homeowner bought it and asked you to apply it for them, okay? When the tricky part comes in is if you do like pest control, or you add an additional compound that's meant to stabilize your soil below, because we had Tennessee clay. You could put turf on it, sod turf on it, and you could put grass seed on it, and you put your netting to keep the birds out of it, and you'll get some growth in there. But sometimes you'll also find that it's not doing a fullness of growth. It doesn't mean that the seed is not applying itself. It doesn't mean that it's not working. It's that your yard needs more time, okay? Which means you may need 2, maybe 3 years worth of application to get it to the recommended level that you are seeking, okay? You come tell me what you want your grass to look like. I will tell you how long it will take to get that. And it's not, I don't rush the process. Some of us can be very impatient, and some of us can feel like we're wasting money or a scam, if you want to call it that. But it's not. This is one of those things where you have to trust the process and allow the gradual unfolding as it does, okay? I can't tell you any otherwise other than you experiencing it. And you can probably talk to your neighbors, you could probably talk to your friends, you could probably talk to coworkers that have their own narrative about how their grass, how they paid for something and their grass isn't doing what they thought it would be doing, and it's only the first application, okay? Be mindful that that is their perspective. You do not have to adopt that perspective, okay? If you guys have questions that pop up in your mind about any of the information that I provide you or any of the products, or you have lawn care, landscaping, grass needs, questions, and I am well knowledgeable to provide an answer to help you discover more of that answer, by all means, comment on my messenger, send me a text message if you want. You can call me, but I cannot guarantee I'm going to pick up the phone because you might catch me while I'm already out cutting someone's yard. I might be messing with something sharp. I could be talking to a client on their property, getting more clear details of all of the work that they want done, right? I may be doing an estimate, and I use my phone as an estimate. I walk properties. I will never do an estimate over the phone. You can call me and text me and ask me what my price and rate would be. I won't know until I step foot on your property, because I don't know what your property looks like. And Google Maps will only give me or Zillow and other housing websites will only give me what is the selling pictures, not the actual pictures of what it looks like. So I don't do estimates over the phone. Landscaping or cutting grass. And yes, cutting grass is very simple. But if your grass is like a jungle, it's going to require multiple cuts. And yes, if we were to cut it every 2 weeks, we charge you that single service cut. But if it requires us to do that double because your grass is grown, it's a double fee. Understand? Okay. Because you own the lawn god to cut. Whether you want to try to do it 1 or 2 times of cuts a year to try to save your money, you're not saving money. You're stressing your grass and you're costing yourself more. Okay. But I have 2 types of spreaders. Down here I have a Scott's Turf Builder Edge Guard, which it's like a green bucket, and down here is your dial, your spreader dial, okay? Over here is your trigger mechanism. And then I also have this battery operated one. If you could see this. This is another, it's a Scott Wiz hand spreader. It takes 4 AA batteries. The only thing you will ever need to do probably of maintenance on that is, well, if you want to clean it out, you can always clean it out, but you're probably only going to use it for seed spreading, insect protection in your turf spreading, but you're probably never going to use it for anything else other than that, okay? But it takes 4 AA batteries. If you're using it frequently, you're going to change out batteries frequently. So whether you get Amazon Basic AA batteries, whether you get Duracell Energizer Max, or whatever the highest ultra battery output, you're going to go through your batteries. Plain and simple. Depending on the size of your yard. If you have a smaller size yard, that's probably all you're going to need. And it also has an indicator on the front right here. That indicator is to match with the bag of treatment, okay? On the back of the bag of the treatment, it will have settings for the specific setting that you have. So this one says Scott's handheld spreader, which is basically that one. And then this one is a Scott's drop spreader, broadcast spreader, and a Wiz spreader, okay? Notice how the numbers are a little different, all right? So we have a Wiz spreader, which is 5 3/4 setting, and we also have a Scott's broadcast rotary spreader, which is a 9 setting, okay? Now, because we mixed a component of this, we're gonna look at the back of the other bag, all right? On the back of this bag, it will have a spreader setting about the mid section down. Where is it? Edge guard. Looking at 4.5 is your spreader rate. Okay. 4.5, because these are smaller granules of seeds product, and the thicker Scott's Turf Builder, a thicker lawn, is a bigger size granule. So you're going to want to take the biggest setting that has been mentioned between your mixed combination so that you get an even distribution of all of the granules in your mixed combination of seed application, okay? So we are going to go up here, treat it around the house, and then come back around the deck and put treatment over there. This bucket right here, this bucket will apply for about 15,000 square feet, okay? This cost at real actual market value cost, this is about $125 worth of product in this bucket. Yeah, that's gold right there. Okay, that's not to include the time and labor. That's not to include the destination charge, which basically is me coming out to your property, or how far away from me to get to you is, et cetera, which that's basically chalked up to admin time. Okay. When you are mixing your combination, this here, use protection. Either nitrile gloves, gardening gloves, something. Because 9 times out of 10, you will forget that you used your hands for something, and then you'll put something to your face. Whether it's rubbing your face because you're sweating, or you forgot you used your hands in that small amount of brief moment and you're eating something, right? I would not recommend eating and doing lawn treatment at the same time. Okay? Pro tip. But we are going to apply this today. And any treatment that I didn't get around the house, we're going to go back over. Remember that area that I said I've been treating for the last 3 years? We're not going to do a deep treat on it, but I cut it down to a lower setting. Understand, when you are doing grass treatment, you want a lower setting cut. Yes, stripes are beautiful. Yes, a neatly manicured lawn looks gorgeous. I have no reservation about that whatsoever, except when you are applying grass seed. When you are applying treatment to your turf, you want it at a lower setting. You don't have to scalp it, and you don't have to get it super, super low, but you want it lower than your typical cut. And that's so that your granules can get to the soil and not just sit on the blades of grass, okay? But before you apply your treatment, have your grass cut, okay? Do not put it on an uncut grass, all right? I don't have a GoPro, so I leave you with this. If you feel like your yard, everything that you've thrown in it, whether you've tried to do it yourself or you've tried to pay for someone else to come out and try to treat it, and it's just not taking, let me know. Let's see if we can get your grass to not only meet your expectations, but exceed it. All right? Phoenix Lawn Care and Landscaping. Let me know. All right?